All right, so let's check out knowledge check 12.5.1. For this one, we're going to go ahead and load tidyr and dplyr. And this knowledge check is focused on table 3, which we see here. Now, the first question asks, is this data untidy? If so, why? If we take a look, we have 3 variables here. We have country, year, and then we have rate, which when we look at this, we actually see we have 2 different sets of numbers within the same element, right? So actually what this is combining is basically the number of cases and the population for each country and year combined in the same element. So it's by no means tidy. We can't use the individual values for either cases or population on their own. So we need to go ahead and make some modifications so that we can use that information. Right? And so that's what number 2 gets at. It says the rate variable is actually combining the number of cases and the population. Split this column such that you have 4 columns: country, year, cases, and population. All right. So we want to go ahead and take table 3. And really the objective here is we want to separate the rate column. So here we've got an argument that we are calling column. This is a column to separate. We can go ahead and call rate. And we want to separate this into 2 columns. And this is going to be cases and then population. Now, we could actually just call this, and it's going to work. It would separate. And the reason it works automatically for us is because by default, it will look for any non-alphanumeric character that is separating certain values. Now, sometimes we have more than one, and we need to go ahead and specify what we want to separate by. And we can do that with this sep argument. So here we've got a /, and if we go ahead and apply that, again, we see we have our data frame with our cases and population data separated out. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to jump down to number 3 here. And number 3 is going to build on that. And it says basically after we have done our separation, we want to go ahead and compute the cases to population ratio. So basically take these new columns we created and create a ratio between those 2. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to follow up our separate function call with mutate. And mutate is going to go ahead and create a new variable called ratio that is cases divided by population. Now, when we run this, what we'll see is we'll get this error. And the reason for that is, let's go ahead and just run this first part. And we see when we separate this, we get character values as output. And that's because our original data frame up here, this rate, because we had this non-alpha numeric character in here, that was a character to begin with. So when we separated them, the columns remained their existing data type. Well, there is an argument in here that we can go ahead, and if you look at my right hand screen here, I can go ahead and do convert equals true. And what convert will do is take a pretty good guess at what we likely want to convert these variables to. And because they're all numbers in the values, it goes ahead and converts it to integers. So now if we go ahead and add that, convert equals true, and I run my code, now we see it runs successfully and we get our ratio of cases to population.